Well, it's the last round of the home and away season in the NRL. What a great setup we have from a scheduling point of view, from a finals point of view. Brett Kimmorley, just quickly, last week, Manly, that get out of jail thing has set this whole week up, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. You know, Manly were absolutely amazing at Brookvale on Sunday afternoon. Your suburban grounds need to be kept. It was an amazing atmosphere there, and Manly was stinky for 75 minutes. But the toughness and the culture of that football club, they love adversity. They were able to win. And they're able to make this weekend's game now in calculation. Who's going to get minor premiership? Who's going to make the 8? It's a good sort of...
And who's going to miss out, just as importantly. Roosters and Rabbitohs kick us off Thursday night at Allianz Stadium. This is a game that might be a dress rehearsal for something later in September.
Yeah, that's right. The two best teams. You know, you think they will meet somewhere throughout the finals. It's bragging rights. Whoever wins this gets bragging rights. There is the minor premiership, depending on Saturday's result, with Manly up for contention as well. Roosters were brilliant last week. Defensively great against the Melbourne Storm. Shouldn't have won the game. Didn't have enough ball and still won by 12 points. And I think South Sydney, well, they got Isaac Luke off throughout the judiciary. They get John Sutton back. They've got a chance, but I think the Roosters win easy. Okay, Storm up against the Broncos. No Sam Thaiday. He probably should have gone the Ben Cummins defence. I made a mistake. Give me another week to redeem myself. Well, it's worked for everyone else, doesn't it?
Works for the referees.
Works for the referees. Yeah. Well, Sam Thaiday is the leader too, inspirational. When he plays great, I think the rest of the forwards follow him. So he'll be missing. The Melbourne Storm at home won't lose 2 games back-to-back leading into a finals. The last home game, a lot to play for. I just think the Broncos have to win to make the 8, but I think Melbourne will be too good for them.
Okay, Tigers and Sharks at Leichhardt on Saturday.
Oh, I just think the Tigers at home at Leichhardt, not much to play for. They should just get a victory for Mick Potter.
$1.01, someone to get in strife at the Cross on Saturday night between those two teams, by the way. Raiders versus Eels, interesting.
Yeah, well, if the Eels are alive because Brisbane get beat on Friday night, you'll get a performance from Parramatta. If Parramatta know that they're out of the 8, then they'll stink. I think they'll just turn it up, and I think that'll give enough motivation. Only if the Eels are stinky, Canberra might win for Brett White's farewell.
Word of the week, by the way, is stinky. Cowboys take on Manly at 1300 Smiles Stadium.
Cowboys were a little bit off last week. They were a bit flat. They played brilliant the week before, and I think they had this round in their mind. They know that they're playing for a top 4 position.
That's
amazingly,
a big thing.
that is amazing there. And I think Manly, Jamie Brewer got hurt. Matt Ballon has been ruled out. They're under certainly some injury doubts. Cowboys will be too good in North Queensland.
I get the feeling Manly might be just doing what a couple of the other AFL teams are, just resting themselves for the home final in a couple of weeks' time. 1-2 makes little or no difference in the Manly mind, I don't think. Knights taking on the Dragons, Hunter Stadium.
Well, I think the Dragons not much to play for now. They're sort of hanging around, but so be it. They'll end the year without a few victories. But Newcastle, Old Boys Day, it's the greatest game or most successful rate Newcastle have ever had in the history for Old Boys. They will win. They were brilliant last week. They'll probably put 30 on the Dragons.
There you go. Titans up against the Doggies. Titans have been poor.
Titans have been extremely poor. They get a coach that they know where they're going, but that won't matter. The Dogs need to win. The Dogs are certainly playing for the semi-final spot. Where they finish, unsure, so Dogs in a good victory.
And Penrith versus Warriors at Penrith.
Yeah, well, Penrith, last home game of the season, been extremely good. The Warriors, they get to sit back and watch what happens. If Brisbane get beat, then the Warriors need to win to make the 8. Yeah. If Brisbane win, well, then they might be a side that comes to Australia and sort of has that I don't really care attitude. Penrith at home, maybe.
Okay. And let's have a look at Noddy's tips on screen. I hope you know where you're placed in your footy tipping competition, because this is your last throw at the dice. The Roosters on Thursday, the Storm on Friday, then the Tigers, the Eels only if they're alive, Cowboys just, Knights, Bulldogs and Penrith to beat the Warriors. And I reckon if you're a safe in-front person in your footy tipping contest, go the favourites. Don't try and be sneaky, and just hope that you get over the line and get the cash at the end of the year.
I'd hope so, right? 7 out of 8 last week. I found some form right time of the year.
I've got 3.